is that either bill payers or taxpayers will end up picking up the tab.
The idea that we're going to have even greater water bills, soaring bills, at a time of prices already being hiked, we have to pay a lot for food. That's tough if you're a mum like me, already struggling to get the things that my kid needs.
Customers rightly want the lowest possible pollution, but also the lowest bills. For Thames Water and the entire sector, that's creating a financial fault line. Chris Choi, News at 10.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And, unfortunately, I'm about to ruin your day. I'm sorry. This is kind of what I do here. I kind of go on, jump on YouTube, deliver to my beautiful audience, and deliver you guys some great news that may or may not traumatize you or hate your life for the rest of the day. Well, what I'm talking about is this. We have a UK man who calls himself a mother admits to breastfeeding his child, dismisses concerns as anti-trans hate. Right, because we totally just should allow a guy to just breastfeed a child, even though there's essentially no nutrients there. But I digress. Maybe you guys have on the know-how of how this is supposed to be going on. As you see in the video that you just seen, it seems that man is a little not all there in the head. A trans-identified male who was profiled as a struggling mother in recent ITV News video and soaring water bills in the UK is now defending himself amidst backlash for breastfeeding a baby. Bika Minio Pulalo, whatever the hell that is a man who identifies as a woman, is calling criticism of transgender breastfeeding anti-trans hate. On June 28th, ITV published an article about the country's biggest water supplier, Thames Water, reporting that the company risks collapse due to soaring debt. The broadcaster shared a video along with the article that featured a trans-identified male presented as a Thames Water customer. During the video, ITV consumer editor Chris Choi stated, "This customer fears that either bill payers or taxpayers will end up picking up the tab of the failing water supply." Manio Puello then gives his input on the current state of affairs, but curiously refers to himself as a mother during the interview. The idea that we're going to have to even greater water bills, soaring bills, a time prices have already been hiked, and we have to pay a lot for food. That's tough if you're a mom like me already struggling to get things that my kid needs. The very next day, UK writer and broadcaster Paul Embry shared the clip of Manipulelo and wrote, ITV News did a piece about the impact of soaring water bills on an everyday mother, so naturally they got a man to play the part. Yeah, so, here's what I'm talking about, ladies. Is that you're having these people come into your lives and, pretty much eliminating yourselves from, eliminating you guys from, any sorts of how to be a female or a woman or what have you. And obviously, I'm not going to go out and say that your only purpose is to go and breed children, and your only purpose is to have children, but that's one of the most important things women have, is to become a mother, to give birth, and therefore raise the said child. And a guy is trying to take that importance away from you. Now, I'm not saying guys can't do this, because we very well can, but the difference is we don't try to masquerade as being a mother. We try to masquerade as being a father, because as that's what we are. And unfortunately here, this guy is trying to remove that. And I think that men and women serve a very important roles. Women serve a very important role in terms of household, keeping the house clean, etc., etc. Men preserve the important role of providing and being able to protect his family. And let this be a perfectly good point for you, all you ladies here. And where the media is trying to lie to you, right? There is nothing wrong with being a housewife or what have you, and you wanting to do that, all right? If that's something that you want to do, and you want to do a little bit of work here and there, that's fine, that by all means, have the ability to do so. But I think, in my personal opinion, it's significantly better for somebody at the home to stay home with the child, take care of the child, raise that said child, and, be able to have the child grow up in a good household, rather than, having to work a 9 to 5 for both people at the part, and then, obviously, having somebody else watch your child. I don't think that's necessarily good, but I digress. I go a little bit off topic here. Either way, that this man is trying to take that one important thing away from you, and I don't think that's okay. Member of the Parliament, Rosie Duffield, shared the clip of video and added her own commentary, writing, "Dear ITV News, I'm sure this is a lovely, intelligent, and decent human being. This was an important piece. This is not, however, a struggling mother." Yeah, well, we all know. Well, according to them, it is. Early on, some users also noted that Minnie Apollo appeared to be washing a breast pump during one of the scenes in which he is at the kitchen sink. User gender is harmful posted a close-up of the breast pump, prompting concern from users questioning why he would possess such an item. Yeah, I would also probably question that as well. But as you could probably see in the thumbnail, probably a few other things, that this is not really the greatest. This guy is questionable. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed this. It's not there in the initial wide shot, but then it's suddenly there for the dishwashing close up. I immediately recognized it and was wondering what the fuck was going on in this clip about a man concerned about his water bill, one user wrote in response. Hopefully it belongs to the child's mother and she's expressing her milk before work or whatever, another user speculated. As commentary continued to swell on social media, many responded to the intense social media backlash following the appearance on ITV's video. On July 2nd, Polio shared a 17 tweets to address the situation, beginning the lengthy response with a photo of himself and his child watching drag, including Ada HD. So you're exposing your child to essentially people that he shouldn't be exposed to. Obviously, this is the reason why I want more of this stuff to be labeled as like child endangerment, child sexual exploitation and stuff like that, because that's what you're doing. I mean, again, not all drag queens are obviously doing this, I'm going to assume, but it seems like a vast majority are doing this, and it's always sexual in nature, and I don't think that kids should ever be allowed to be at those events at all. So, I digress. As commentary continued to swell on social media, Minnie Apollo responded to the intense social media backlash following his appearance in ITV's video. So, as we see here, the drag name of performer Samuel has previously raised concerns on social media for his conduct around children, in addition to having fundraisers for the funeral cause of Gareth Moore, a fellow drag queen and convicted child sex offender. Well, later in the thread, Billy included a photo of himself breastfeeding his child, and a parent referred to address the breast pump questions, and asserted that trans women can breastfeed, and I did breastfeed my child. He says that the anti-trans hate he's received is a distraction from the actual issue he was interviewed on. He calls for solidarity in times of inflation and wage loss, but adds, adoptive mothers are mothers. Lesbian mothers are mothers, whether they are birth a child or not. Stepmothers are mothers. Trans women can be mothers. It's not up to a member of parliament and anyone else to march into a family and force what a child is called as their parent. Listen, nobody is saying that when a mother or anybody for the matter, let's just stick to mothers for this point, that mothers that adopt children are not mothers. We're not actually disagreeing with that. We're not saying lesbian, no, they're not mothers either. We're also not saying that. So you're trying to point out something that we're not saying is not true. Again, for a little bit of history unto myself, I was also adopted. And due to the fact that does not mean that I was adopted, but my mom is not a mother. So I don't know where you're really going with this, because that's a stupid association to this. However, trans women cannot mothers because they're not actually women. They're just men in disguise. They're just women in disguise. That's pretty much what it is. Well, they're men in disguise. My apologies. They're men in disguise, right? So, at the end of the day, this is kind of the case in point here. I don't see where you're going to really say that you're a mother when you're not, and you're trying to make yourself feel better and make other people, and especially your child, suffer in the conditions of, because of your own, honestly, mental illness. But I guess we just don't want to call that what it is. He continues in all capital letters, just leave queer families alone, as he rejects the comments he has read online that have called for a child to be removed from him. Yeah, I would agree, because if you're exposing your child to actual people that are pedophilic in nature, or child grabbers in this case, I should probably, maybe have your kid taken away from you so you can get your child away from those type of people. Menu lists a slew of issues that impact women and families, and inserts himself into the issues of motherhood, saying mothers are always judged for our choices, made to feel guilty for not being perfect, told we shouldn't be working and aren't working enough. Is this because trans women exist? No. Again, mothers are judged for the acts that they do in a civilized society, as you know, trying to always to try to take away the ability, or try to take the kids away from the father, because that's usually what has been the biggest thing that's been going on now in today's society, is they've been trying to take away the children from their fathers, which is what we're greatly concerned about. And there isn't like not working enough here. There is a difference between when you're taking care of a household, which is obviously a lot of work and should be respected in my own personal opinion, because that is a job that is, you know, difficult in itself. You know, trying to keep the family household together, you know, that's very, very important. And then, you know, and then it's a sense for trying to say that women are not perfect. Well, men aren't perfect either. Nobody's perfect in this society. It's just the choices that modern women are making are detriment to themselves, is what we're concerned about here. But, you know, he goes on to address the ITV feature specifically and tells readers how he was chosen for the interview, and also reveals that the breast pump that caused in fact belonged to his housemate. But he still defends the idea that if the breast pump had belonged to him, it wouldn't be noteworthy, as trans women can breastfeed. No, they can't. No, they can't. He rounds out the questionable string of response tweets with a assertion that concern over a man being labeled a mother is right-wing distraction tactic to obscure the real struggle. He says, ultimately, the weird hate I've faced these past days is a distraction from the real fight. Water companies are ripping us off, inflation soared with corporate profiteering, wages have fallen, Australia has robbed us of safety nets, nature and climate collapse is here, that's the real fight. The women, black people, disabled people, queers, workers, etc., blah, 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 face the biggest burden. Creating a safe, just more equal society now for our children is not easy, but it's possible. Yeah, but again, this is all insanity. And of course, this person goes here to, what is going on? Okay, here we have is that, there have been thousands of tweets full of hate, cruelty, and attempts at ridicule directed at me this week. But it's Pride Weekend, queers are and always will be queers, and you can't erase us. Here's me and my kid having fun watching Eddie Hag story down about yesterday. Again, I'm not quite sure what you're doing here. Again, you're trying to force your political beliefs into your child and stuff like that, which is completely insane in the sense. Again, I know what you're trying to do here, but this is not it, fam. Like, you need to stop, because these pride people are obviously not the best picks for what you have in terms of taking your kids to. All right, and that's the biggest problem. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.